All right, welcome to episode 235 of the LinuxLUGcast. We are an open podcast / lug that meets at 9 p.m. Eastern every first and third Friday of the month using Mumble. We encourage anyone listening to join us and participate. You can check out linuxlugcast.com for the server details. And if you are unable to join us live during the show, you can send us an email at feedback@linuxlugcast.com. You can check out our Lemmy page where we post things that we like to talk about. There's a link both in the show notes and at linuxlugcast.com. We have a YouTube and Peertube channel where you can actually see this version of the podcast. You can see our smiling faces. Nobody wants to see that.
Yes, you actually get a chance to see my good profile.
We need to find a way just to get like a little picture there.
He can do that. He has to get a gravatar.
Right. Like Lovecraft's. Lovecraft's got a nice one there.
Yeah.
All right. I think I got all that. Peertube, YouTube. Yep. All right. I think we're good. All right. I'm your host for this evening, Honky Bagoo. With us is Joe.
Hello, I'm here. I swear.
Lovecraft.
Good evening, everybody.
Lugbot.
Listen to me now.
Okay.
Minnix.
Hello, I'm here.
Netminer.
Hello, friends.
And lurking in the background is Fat Boy. If he likes to talk, that's perfectly fine. If not, you want to just sit there and listen, that's fine. Oh, yeah, muted. Did you want to talk?
Yeah, I'm here. That's good. First time contributor.
Oh, that mic's hot, bro.
Yep.
Back away from the mic just a little. That's all right.
Oh, turn that gain down.
Is that any better?
No.
Still too hot.
Okay, I'll just go back to the audio test and I'll come back in a bit.
Okay.
Well, if you can move the mic away a little bit, that might help a little bit.
Yeah, it's just the mic in the laptop. I'm sat a couple of feet away from it.
Well, yeah,
Hurting my feelings here.
you can turn it down in either your microphone setting on your laptop or in Mumble itself.
I'd say definitely on your laptop settings.
Yeah.
Just go to your sound settings.
Yeah, it's actually a Chromebook. I'm just looking into it now.
Oh, I don't know how to do it on a Chromebook. Oh, did anybody post the link for the show notes? I just need it this one time, and I will tab it again.
I really can't. Let's see. Hold on. I'll post it into. Oh, you got it?
I'll post it in Mumble.
Whatever the version of Mumble that I have on my laptop that I do the recording on, I can't put any text into it.
Mine was like that way for a long time.
I remember mine was like that.
Yeah.
For a while.
Which version are you running with Mumble?
Let's see. 134 dash
All right.
1.
Yeah,
on
1.3.4 TAC 1.
I'm on 130, so.
You need an update, boy.
Yes, I do. I'll see what, because this is Bunsen Labs. Yeah, it's a Debian.
Get a flat pack.
I have a joke to tell.
Oh God, help us all.
Okay. Go ahead, Lugbot.
I will say a joke, and you will open your mouth, and human laughter will come out.
Yeah, that's usually the way it works. You don't have to say that before the joke. Still some rough edges here. So, what is your joke? Hello?
Gotta finish typing it out.
What is the difference between an Irish wedding and an Irish funeral?
I don't know. You guys know?
No.
One less drunk.
That's pretty good. That's actually kind of funny. Everybody's laughing very hard.
Ha ha he ha ha he ya he ha ha he ya he.
There you go.
Okay.
You have any more jokes, Lugbot?
What is the difference between a circus and a sorority house?
I don't know. You guys know?
No.
What's the difference between a circus and a sorority house? Lugbot.
One is full of cunning stunts.
That's kind of. Did we
I've
lose
heard
all of
variation
our?
that one before.
Did we lose all of our female audience yet? Oh, the one girl that was listening. What about you got any more? You got any more? Lugbot?
Why does Santa Claus have such a big sack?
I don't know. Why does Santa Claus have such a big sack?
He only comes once a year.
Oh.
That was good, Lugbot. You can go back to sleep now.
Ha he
Yeah, very funny.
He.
He likes his own jokes. Okay, I'll put him to sleep for a little while. That was the Lugbot comedy hour.
Well, that happened. What's that?
I hate it.
Morrissey hates it.
Oh boy, test your mic again.
Joe thought it was funny.
Yeah, is that sounding any better?
Oh,
Oh,
a
yeah.
Better.
1,000 times better.
Oh, that's awesome.
Are you using a headset?
No, I'm just testing this Chromebook out. It's just using the internal microphone and speakers there.
Actually, sounds really good.
Yeah, for an internal
Yeah.
mic, that sounds awesome.
That was
I
better
did
than
hear
Joe,
the
and he's on
echo.
a headset.
Yeah. But this is not the greatest headset, I am aware.
And this is what you use on the Mintcast?
No, I actually, use the proper microphone.
You actually make an
on
effort.
the Minnix. Yeah. On this show, I like being able to move around and do things, other than pay attention to you guys. On Mintcast, I'm actually, involved in it.
Oh.
Okay.
What about tilts?
No, I use this headset on tilts. That way I can lift weights.
Are you still doing tilts?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't listened to tilts in a long time. I didn't just stop caring about Joel's house.
Right. Well, we haven't talked about Joel's house in a while.
No.
And
Do y'all talk about Linux at all?
Yeah. And Dave is on there now. Dave Yates is back.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So you should check it out. He's been on the last few shows, so.
I'll actually have to listen.
Yeah.
Is that why you guys are actually talking about Linux?
But to some extent, Dan has had quite a bit of work stuff that we talk about in regards to Linux. So it's been interesting conversations lately. And I think I got Dave. He says he's going to install Audio Bookshelf and give that a test because, I was extolling all the virtues and all the things that I use it for.
I just reinstalled Audio Bookshelf, the Docker container. I want to put it on the little mini computer that I had. Oh, fuck, my head's just... I can't remember what the hell I'm trying to say.
Getting old.
Tell me about it.
When I did my reformat, like all my matching, all the matching that I did went away and everything that I listened to got reset and all that jazz. But I still have the old hard drive because I switched from an SSD to an M.2. So I'm going to see if I can pull the config file from the old hard drive and see if I can just put it in and see what works.
I put it on the old Rock Pi that I have Nicotine Plus on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I figured that's where I had most of my the audiobooks on, and that's where I was using to get some of the audiobooks is I was getting them from Joe and then putting them onto that. I have like, was it 3 1 terabyte drives that are all hooked up to that Rock Pi. So using that as the storage for, pulling stuff down and then being able to share them afterwards. So, which, by the way, do you have Nicotine Plus back up?
I don't yet.
Okay.
Actually, let me check. Yeah, let's see if it works. Because some of my settings were saved because I used like the built-in backup tools, and then I did the restore. So some of it's worked, some of it hasn't. So I'm going to load up Nicotine now and see if it has remembered everything. If it has, then we're good. If it hasn't, I'm not going to set it up right now.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I used that also to. I started listening to Jim Busher's Dresden Files again. I'm on like book 3 already. But I reset up Audiobook Shelf. I love Audiobook Shelf.
It's great.
Yeah.
Everybody should have it installed.
If you like audiobooks, yeah.
Or podcasts.
Or podcasts, yeah.
Or ebooks.
Is it good for ebooks?
I have mine set up for ebooks. It allows me, you can either read it using audiobook player or audiobook shelf, or what I do is I use it to bring the whatever ebook I want to my phone, and then I use like @voice or Librera to read it aloud. And no, Nicotine is not starting.
Okay.
This is your new, after you reformatted?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Hey, Fat Boy, how did you hear about us?
I've been listening to you guys for a bit, quite well, on and off for the last few years. Just thought I'd drop in. I thought I nearly dropped in the other week, but I missed you by a week, so I got there on Friday. So I just set up this Chromebook, and I was just thinking, well, might as well drop in there.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here, man. Thanks for tuning in and for listening and joining us.
Have you tried any Linux on that Chromebook yet?
Yeah, I've got a few. That's why I bought. Well, the Chromebook is an Acer one. I got a pretty decent spec one with a Intel inside there, and yeah, I've got quite a few Linux apps running on there. I just put this Mumble. But the Mumble I'm just using is actually an Android app. So you've got the option of doing the Android apps or the Linux ones, but it's pretty good on the Linux.
Are you using Mumla for Mumble?
Yeah, that's Mumla. Yeah, Mumla.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But I use it quite a bit, this Chromebook, just for SSHing into the servers. Like, it's pretty good for that.
What type of servers are you running?
I got a few. Got some VPSs running, some websites. Got HP ProLiant server running, Ubuntu. I got a few round and about that I use for various things.
Did you listen, or did you get on the New Year's Eve HPR stream?
No, I've listened to that. I didn't listen to it this year. Last year, I have listened to parts of it, and I was going to do it, but New Year's Eve it kind of overtook, and before I knew it, it was January the 2nd even.
I didn't really listen to it much, but I'll listen to it when it comes out. Hopefully by next year. Wonky should finish putting the stream together and getting it up and running.
Mid-October at the latest, really.
Yeah.
Lovecraft, when did we have it done last year?
Well, Lovecraft was on top of it. He wasn't this year.
Yeah, Lovecraft and Scotty were all over it.
Speaking of ebooks, you read them in Audio Bookshelf, Joe? Is that what you said?
No, I use Audio Bookshelf to bring them to my phone, and then I use Librera or
I got you.
AdVoice to read them.
I posted in the Matrix, there's a new app called Librum Reader. Have you heard about that?
I have not.
It looks like it's
Librum
similar
Reader.
to...
Like
I'm
I
going to
said,
post it in the show notes.
I was using Librera last I checked, so... Librera.
It's similar to Audio Bookshelf, but mainly just made for ebooks. So it's you run the server and then read it from anywhere. I'll put it in the show notes. Librum Reader. And Honky asked me if I actually read ebooks. Yeah, man. I know that's not cool anymore. Everybody listens to audiobooks.
It's just easier with audiobooks.
It is. I agree.
I mean, I killed 3 books in like a couple of days pretty easily, just because I can do other things and listen to the book at the same time.
Right.
Reading, I needed to be able to sit down and a dedicated time to where I'm not going to get interrupted with anything. It's not easy to do.
Speaking of Chromebooks, also, there is a link here real quick called chrultrabook. Chrultrabook, is that how you pronounce this? It's supposed to make it easy to convert your Chromebook into an Ultrabook. Put it in the show notes. Chrultrabook. CHR Ultra, basically. It says, convert your Chromebook into an Ultrabook. It's a modified Chromebook that is able to run Windows, Linux, and sometimes Mac OS by using Mr. Chromebox's core boot firmware. The purpose of this site is to provide documentation that is detailed, user-friendly, has up-to-date information about the hardware, software, and firmware on Chromebooks. And I guess they have a list of which Chromebooks. Here it is, supported devices in the table below. You look under supported on documentation and then supported devices. Supported platforms, Intel, AMD, and ARM. ARM is currently unsupported. Intel have good support for both Linux and Windows. And AMD, Stony Ridge support in Windows is questionable. And installing a custom kernel is required to get working audio in Linux. Ryzen has support for both Linux and Windows. Mac OS is unsupported. They have quite a few Chromebooks here.
Yeah, I like the Chromebook for you can drop into a terminal, and once you're in like stuff like SSH or something like that, there's actually no difference between that and a regular Linux laptop, really.
Right. Because there's not much I do on my laptop that I need actual Linux applications besides the terminal. Usually it's, unless it's like editing for the show, I'll use Kdenlive. But I think that they even have that for Windows, I believe. I can't think of anything like Linux specific that I use, as far as applications go, that I regularly use. I'm sure they have Mumble client for Windows and VLC and all that stuff.
Yeah, I use this one because, like, for the bang for the buck, you get quite a good deal out of these some of these Chromebooks. As I say, it wasn't a cheap one. It was I don't know, about 700-800 Canadian dollars there.
I've
So
seen
you got
a
a
couple of
pretty decent
videos
one,
and I've
man.
done some talking on you can find like used Chromebooks from schools and stuff for really low cost, even less than the cost of a Raspberry Pi, and then set them up to do the exact same things you would normally do with a Raspberry Pi, except for, you know, the I/O pins. But yeah, it's interesting what you can do with them, especially since most of them now you can find a way to install Linux on them instead of running Chrome OS.
Yeah, to be honest, like I don't ever use all the power that my good laptop has, my ThinkPad. Like even to render the show, I offload that to my render server on Proxmox, so I can't think of anything that I need a lot of horsepower. I don't do any kind of design work or anything like that, or even audio editing doesn't take much, you know. So I could get by with one of those Chromebooks like you were talking about, Joe. And if I had one, I would probably try this chrultrabook deal. It was cheap enough where I wouldn't.
A lot of your Chromebooks are just freaking overpowered for what they are.
Yeah, to run Chrome OS.
Yeah, you've got Chromebooks with like, you know, top-end Intel processors, and why put that operating system on there? So, well, like I said, most of them you can force to run Linux in one way or another. So,
but you know, Android has like audio and video editing applications too. I wonder if people buy Chromebooks and then use those. Like Chrome OS, I guess they have their own app store too, right?
I mean, some of the beauty is because Chrome OS is so light, the battery life is, I'm getting like 9 hours on this one, which is pretty good. But then when the Linux part of it, it actually opens up like a virtual machine, and it works pretty good.
Now, the Chromebook that you have, so is that just like a regular Intel processor, like you would find in or an AMD processor, like in a regular laptop, or is it something special?
It's an Intel because sometimes, well, when you drop into the, because I had an ARM one a few years ago, I think it was ARM, and you got to watch because you don't get all the packages. You know, you try and install something, it's not available. It's only available on
x86.
x86, yeah. I'll just see what's in this. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, so it's basically just a regular x86 laptop just running Chrome OS. I bet you could. You know, they have this thing called Lone Star auctions here, where a lot of times I see like school laptops and stuff being sold in bulk and things like that.
My son got given one. Like,
yeah, that's right.
His own from the school. I did look it up, and you can install Linux on it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but I don't know if he wants to or not. And like I said, it's his, not mine.
Now, what is that ARM or is that x86? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. I think it was an x86, but don't quote me on that. I think it was the Dell 11-inch line, so I don't know.
Looking at this, it's a AMD Ryzen 5 3500C.
Jesus.
With Radeon Vega Mobile GFX.
Yeah, that thing should be running Linux.
Well, most of the time I do spend my time in Linux, but yeah, I mean, I have used the old one. I actually put Linux on it 100%, but it does everything I need anyway. So most of my Linux work is in SSH and stuff like that. So it works pretty well. And then I've got LibreOffice installed under Linux here, so that's everything I really need.
Yeah.
You?
Now, have you been working on any projects, Fat Boy, or anything Linux related, or server stuff, or lately?
Yeah, I've redone all the Nextcloud. I've done. I'm working a lot on Home Assistant at the moment. I'm doing a lot of Zigbee stuff on there. Yeah, I've been pretty busy doing stuff. As I say, I've got been put a new install of Nextcloud on using that all-in-one.
That's what I've
because
used.
Yeah, I've used it before where I tried to, I've set it up before. I even set it up like the traditional way of, installing all packages and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start using like the, what is it, Calibra?
Yeah, Calibra.
Caliber.
That sometimes gets, that sometimes gets a bit convoluted, but that all-in-one, it's just, that's awesome. At the first, I put it on. What did I have it on? An old drive. Is it on? No. Do you ever remember the upboards? Do you remember the x86 upboards?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I've got the first upboard. That's an x86. I mean that I run that as my daily driver as a desktop for a few years ago, and I put that Nextcloud on that, but it kept on crashing. I think it was running out of memory. But I put it on my main server, and it's been absolutely rock solid for the last month or so. Yeah,
the all-in-one, I think, is the way to go. Ever since I switched it, because I had it installed traditionally too, and I never really had problems, I guess, with it, but just mainly it was the maintenance and upkeep that was could be frustrating or time-consuming, especially updating to new versions and stuff. But the all-in-one is awesome. It's just it even gives you, it says, okay, an update's ready. You go to a page and it shuts down your containers. It's all container based, and then updates the containers, and then you start your containers and everything's updated. And you have the choice on that page to back up everything too if you want.
Yeah, well, as I say, I used to have it like installed traditionally, and then you go through all the updates, and it just got flakier and flakier and flakier until the end. It was like I didn't have the knowledge to actually try and fix it. I was like, so at the end, you just have to just nuke it. But I've gone to that all in one, and as I say, I moved it from one server to the other, and all I did was do a backup. I then went to the other one, run the containers up, imported the backup, and it was like that was an excellent migration, and it just seamless.
It is awesome. Upboard has a new computer out now too, called the Up 7000. Let's see.
I'm coming away from all these like boards and Raspberry Pis and everything because you can get some of these x86 small form computers and stuff like that are half the price and 5 times the power,
Yeah, we've preached that before. Like we had a big discussion just about the Raspberry Pi, if it's still worth it to get it. I think we all kind of came down on the side that unless you need GPIO pins or something specific to the hardware, that you can save money and get a lot more power bang for your buck by just getting like a cheap Wise, thin client or something like that from eBay, x86-64, and you'll have way more power and options as well.
Yeah, and and people say about the power, but you know what? By the time you've bought your SD cards and you've corrupted an SD card every 12 months or anything, it more than pays for the electricity bill for a year or two anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to kibosh that right there because you can do it off a USB now. It's built into the firmware now. You don't have to jump through all the hoops like you used to. So you do not need to run off the micro SD card.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, I was after a zero. I've been doing that Pi KVM, but my board failed. I had a 0 Pi W, but they don't support that anymore. So I tried to get a 0 Pi 2W, and they had them in the local shop near to me because I tried to buy one. I'm in Canada, and how much are they? About $20, but they're like over $20 for the postage. So I went to the local shop. Yeah, there's an electronics shop. And Zero Pi 2W, he says, oh, and we only sell them in kits. So I said, okay, what comes in the kit? And he said, well, small, SD card, a couple of cables, and a power supply. And it was $85. $85 Canadian.
Yeah, no. No, I know exactly what you mean. Now, lately, my Micro Center has had like the 4s and I think the Picos, but they did not have the Zeros when I looked. And I do look for the Zeros because, they're actually the affordable option now. And I actually have a couple left still that I'm not using. I'm about to hook one up here in a little while. But yeah, it has gotten atrocious. One, trying to find them, and two, actually trying to afford them. They're supposed to be affordable. Why are they not affordable anymore?
Right. I think that's the biggest thing. Is I think if they went back to their original, what were they, like $30? The Raspberry Pi was like $30 to begin with.
That was the point of them.
Right. Right. And
Zero Pi. The Zero, when it first came out, it was on the magazine cover free. Now, I tried to buy one with a transformer, with a power supply and an SD card the other day because I thought, well, that's the only way he was going to sell it. It was 85 Canadian. That's over 100 US.
Yeah,
I remember I tried to get that magazine on the day that it came out. I went to my local bookstore and my local Barnes and Nobles because they were supposed to get them in. And somebody bought all of them. The place only got like 5 of them, and somebody bought all 5. And it's like, thanks.
Buttholes.
It was Danny.
It was me.
I was living in El Paso at the time.
It was still me. I went there just to buy them.
Yeah, because I still have several little Pis and stuff around here and single board computers, but I mean, I am definitely not looking to get anytime soon. I'm just trying to utilize what I got, and most of them are doing something, and I like them. I like the single board computer. I love the idea of the single board computer, but I'm like with the Raspberry Pi 5. I wonder how well that's actually going to start selling. I mean,
oh, it'll sell like crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, especially since they actually added in the ability to put on a hat and have M.2.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will do a lot better than you might think. And they did, kind of separate out the USB and the Ethernet, so you're not getting that bandwidth limitation there.
Right.
So these are a lot better, but I'm what price are they selling them at? The $85 price point?
Mm-hmm.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
What's the power supply on them? Is it like over 3 amp or something?
Oh yeah, it's going to be a beefy power supply.
Mm-hmm. 5 volt.
5 amp.
5 volt, 5 amp.
Are you sure? I don't think so.
I don't know. Hold on.
Yeah,
Gotta be at least 3 amp.
I think it's 5 amp.
I'll just have a look at it now.
Is it really?
27 watt
watts?
USB-C power supply is the one that they sell with it.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I got plenty of high-end, power supply, USB-C power supplies for my phone and stuff, but
At 27 watts, you'll be warming your room up.
Yeah. Oh, it's weird that it's that high. Unless you got a ton of peripherals on it that just sucking juice.
let me click on Micro Center. It is $80 at Micro Center.
For how many gigabytes?
Yeah.
At the 4.
Does not say 8 gigabyte.
8 gigabyte.
Yeah, well, that's just the board, isn't it? And then by the time you've got
right.
all your peripherals, it's over $100, isn't it?
Oh yeah, easy.
Not worth
Does
it.
I mean,
the
I've
5
already
still
got the
require
power supplies, but
Does the 5 still require cooling?
I would put cooling on it.
I got the 4, but I did the all metal case, so it's a passive cooling.
You could
as
do
opposed
it
to
probably,
like the massive fans that people were getting.
Yeah, you could probably do it with passive cooling if you're not, bogging it down too much.
I've still got a Pi 1 in continuous use.
I used to. It died though. What do you use for?
So I actually live in Canada, but I'm actually from the UK. You can probably guess by the accent. But
Wouldn't have guessed it.
wouldn't have guessed it. But so what I've got a SIM card. I've got a UK cell phone SIM card, and what I've done is I've got it's not a dongle. It's I think is it by WaveShare? It's a modem card. So I put that in there, and I've set it up so that if anybody calls it or texts it, then it converts it into an email and sends me, say, either a missed call or sends me the text, and I use it as like a SMS gateway.
So how does the SIM card connect to the Pi?
So I've got I think they're made by WaveShare. It's a modem, like a SIM card. It's like a small PCB, and you can either put it onto the GPIO or it's got its own USB cable. But the GPIO, I think it's only for the 2, 3, and 4 upwards. It won't fit on the Pi one. So, but I just have it connected to the USB, and it's absolutely flawless. The uptime is like months on end.
That's awesome. I wish mine was still running. So the SIM card, so do you need a plan for that as well?
Well, the beauty on the British SIM cards, I don't know what it's like in the US, but in Canada, you've got to pay like $10 a month, and after a month you got to pay another $10.
Right.
You know,
right.
but in the UK, you can get a SIM card, and sometimes you can get them for free anyway, or for £1. It's like they're basically free. You can put like £10 of credit on there, and if you just never use it, all you've got to do is make one call or one text every 6 months to keep it active, and that costs you like pennies. And so I load it up and like with £10 or something, and it'll last me years.
Oh, that's great.
Nice. Yeah, I got a Banana Pi here that's running. I'm gonna guess. No, it's running CentOS. Banana Pi is running CentOS, and it's running it's running our show notes, and I really haven't done much of anything into it for it in a long time. It's running the show notes in a Docker container, the Etherpad.
I've only ever used one of them like offshoot ones. I think it might be an Orange Pi, and it went into meltdown. It literally got that hot once all the case melted around it. I don't know
Orange Pi
quite what happened there.
Yeah, especially the earlier ones. I think they used to get really hot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got my Pi 4, which is currently connected to my 3D printer, running Octoprint. And then I've got this Pi 0 with a USB hat on it that I had I had set up for wireless USB sharing, so that I could use a headset with it and walk around with it, but the Wi-Fi wasn't good enough for it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it into a little mini emulation machine. Now I know the Pi 0 isn't going to do much, but I basically want it to play Nintendo. So, and then I've got this screen that I got for Christmas over here. Trying to see it there. Hold on. There it is.
This is my Retro Pi.
Yeah. Mine, my Pi 4 is in that exact same case.
Oh,
so I got this screen here, and it does HDMI. So I'm gonna set that up just to do a little bit of retro gaming. Have fun with that on this, since this hasn't seen use since the last thing I tested it for. But I really like this hat.
Yeah. How many USBs does it give for the W?
4.
4? That's not bad.
Yeah, I've got a Pi 3 running Home Assistant as well, and got an Odroid C2 running the Octoprint. That works pretty good.
Anybody get anything good for Christmas there?
Got that screen.
How big?
That's an 11-inch screen.
All right.
Buster got a new litter box.
I heard all about that litter box.
It's very special.
And I got a $100 gift card for Micro Center that I spent all but $35 on. So just some connectors, because Bill sent me a graphics card that has just the display. It has 4 DisplayPort outs, so I needed some adapters for that. And then I did get a new voltmeter, which I was using today. And then just, little stuff, really. But I had fun. Christmas was awesome.
My family had do y'all do like a white elephant gift exchange or Yankee swap? Sometimes what people call it.
I've heard of Yankee swap, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. That's what we usually do on Christmas. So you pick a gift and somebody can steal it if they want, and everybody gets one by the end of it. And
I usually end up doing a white elephant for work, and I usually end up going to a party where we do a white elephant, but the party got canceled for medical reasons for one of the people. But you were saying?
So yeah, everybody gets a present. If nobody's done it before, what you do is you draw numbers, and whatever number you get is your turn to draw a present. Everybody brings one present, and you draw a present. And our rules are that you can get whatever present you want, and then it can be stolen from you twice. And on this, after it's been stolen twice, it can't be stolen again. That's the cutoff point. So if there's something really good that everybody wants, everybody's trying to steal it, but it can only be passed around 2 more times. So anyway, I ended up with it's like a ear cleaner, but it has a camera and a light in it, and you can connect it to your phone, and you can see inside your ear and up your nose and wherever you're cleaning.
That just sounds too gross.
It is. It's weird looking. And
why would anybody want to do that?
It's just interesting,
No, part of the point of the white elephant is to have the cheesiest gift.
Yeah.
Dude, a guy I work with got very similar to what you're talking about. He brought it into work yesterday.
Really?
We were looking at it in his ear. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's crazy, isn't it? And you actually see, and you can record the video, or you can take pictures too. Yeah, I'll have to put some recorded video of me cleaning my ear.
I'm just thinking after a few beers. After a few beers, how far would that go? Would it be not socially acceptable?
Yeah, really. Which hole would it go into?
I wasn't going to say that.
But that's what I got. Oh. And then we had one at work, a white elephant party. And I wish I would have thought of this because it was a great idea. But somebody, their present was like a 12-inch by 18-inch frame photo of themselves just smiling right there. And nobody was trying to steal that present, so to the person that got it was just stuck with it.
You should have seen the look on Honky's face when you said 12-inch.
No, it was a frame photo. But yeah, it was funny. It was great. I wish I would have thought of that as a great gift idea. It was just a photo of him just sitting there and smiling. So
you could have had a photo of the inside of your ear. That would have been even better.
Yeah, there you go. Give that away. Nobody will try and steal that unless they're just weirdo. But yeah, so it's hanging up on the wall right now at work.
That's awesome.
So yeah, today I picked up 4 cases of Liquid Death.
What flavor?
All of them were convicted melon, but I was able to get them at $9.99 each.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
I know, right?
What's that? What are you talking about?
It's a carbonated flavored water, but it's really good. Liquid Death. Are you, Fat Boy, do you know the Jitsi address?
No.
Here, I'll post it in the Mumble chat. And you don't have to show yourself, but you can at least see what we're talking about.
We're not sponsored by Liquid Death. It's just
no,
for
but
whatever
we should
reason.
Be, as much as we talk about it,
Right. As much as we extol the virtues of Liquid Death,
To be fair, I've tried the teas and I'm not impressed with the teas, but the lime I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, they did have one lime there, but I didn't pick that one up.
Is that your favorite, Hunky? The what was it called? Severed lime.
Yeah, well, that's basically all I've tried. Is I tried one of each of the teas, and then I tried the lime, and I really liked the lime a lot.
I like
The
my
mango's
favorite.
good.
Yeah, my
Mango's
favorite
good?
is the mango chainsaw.
Okay.
I think
same
that's
here.
my favorite too. Yeah.
I was not impressed with the teas.
I tried
con-
the half
twisted melon.
lemonade, half tea one.
Yeah,
It's okay.
The armless Palmer.
Armless Palmer.
Yeah,
I like
Palmer.
that one. I like that one.
The berry one's pretty good too, I think. But yeah, mango is definitely my favorite.
The buried alive. Yeah, I like the buried alive.
Oh, I like that one too. What I like about it is it's not like, what is the one that's everybody buys, the sparkling flavored water, that's just people
There's a
go
lot.
crazy over.
There's a
People
bunch of them.
crazy
It's
over.
the big brand.
Perrier?
No, it's not Perrier. It comes in cans and stuff too, and it's
San Pellegrino,
no, LaCroix.
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 Okay.
Yeah, it's like LaCroix, except it has a little bit of sweetness. What do they use, like agave nectar or something?
Yep,
So-
agave.
But it's not overly sweet, so it's actually really good.
Everybody says there's no flavor in it.
I like it. I think it's just right.
It's not bad. I drink it.
I mean, I don't really drink sodas and stuff like that, so it has, because they're too sweet, but it has just the right amount of sweetness for me.
All right, Fatboy, you're gonna have to mute Jitsi.
Yeah, it should be just a microphone that you can tap on your screen.
I wonder if he's using the microphone for. That's not gonna screw up.
No.
Mumble.
You just
Okay.
mute the Jitsi in the browser. And
Right.
It should work fine. There you go.
There we go. Well, there he is.
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah. So if you mouse over your browser, you'll see a little microphone and a camera to the left, and if you just click on that microphone, it'll mute your Jitsi microphone, and your Mumble microphone will still be available. But that way we don't hear like a. Yeah. That way we don't hear a double up of you. There you go. You're good now. Because we don't record the audio of the Jitsi, just of the Mumble, and then we record the video of the Jitsi. But it's up to you if you want to be on the Jitsi or not. Just thought we'd show you what we were talking about. Show them that can, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
This is what we're talking about, liquid death. You ever seen that in the supermarket or anything?
Just wait, I'll just go and get some carbonated drink of my own.
I should do that too. I've got some of those THC sodas in the fridge. They're
Oh
pretty
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab one.
Is that legal in Texas?
No, these aren't from Texas.
Breaking the law. Tax
Well,
is
he's got-
coming after you.
I actually got a car stereo for Christmas.
Oh,
Really?
that's cool.
Yeah.
Like the Android Auto.
It's not necessarily an Android Auto. It's from a company called Lead Fan, and it's like a cheaper thing, but it's got the ability. It's got a USB connectability, and it has the screen sharing connectability. So I can, which is great because so many regular car stereos have USB to it, but the only thing you can do is like the phone. It doesn't do audio or anything. It's sort of have to plug in auxiliary just to do the audio.
Right.
You have to do like segregate everything with it. This, like, all audio goes through can go through the Bluetooth, and then I can do I can plug the USB into it and then do screen sharing, and so I can just, like, if I want to do maps, I can just have it share the screen for Google Maps and have that on the screen.
Or watch porn.
Or do that, sure, if you want to.
While driving down the road.
Yes, you can. So I was gonna
What Joe does.
go to one of the local
No,
shops.
I've actually seen someone actually like have their phone set up, and then they were watching porn when I drove past them.
Yeah, yourself.
I was gonna bring it to a place and have them put it in for me because I haven't done anything like that in a long time, and I was told by the guy that they wouldn't, because it wasn't something like a Kenwood or a Panasonic or something like that. They're like, we're not going to touch this at all. So I went, all right, fuck you. I'm just going to learn how to do it myself. And I did. I proudly put that in myself.
I
Really?
need to. I need to put in a new stereo because mine is like from 2002, 2001.
Oh, yeah?
And the adapter so that I can like hook my phone up to the cassette player. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's old. So, but the problem is that I also need to trail hoppers IPA cool. I also need to replace all the speakers in my car because they're also from 2001 and they're blown. So, yeah. I have the 6x9s, but I need some 5 1/4s for the front.
This flavor is blood orange cardamom.
You just got to sit here and get high.
It's like a cannabis soda. It's really good.
It's really good.
Does it get you messed up?
Well, I mean, just one doesn't really. It just gives you a nice little buzz. But they have big cans too. I got the small cans.
You should
How much
bring
that
some
run you?
by.
I don't remember how much they were. I got them in a 6-pack.
Okay.
You should
When
bring
I went
some
to San Diego. You want some?
My wife would.
They're good. And I like them because they're not too sweet either. It's just a little bit of sweetness and a kind of a nice flavor.
I'm simply not a fan of being high. I have no problem against it or anything like that. I just don't like the feeling.
I don't get too high. I like to get a little buzz, but I don't like to be sunk in the couch and just like a piece of crap, just not even moving. So, because I don't drink a lot of alcohol, so if I do, it's like New Year's Eve. I drink some, and maybe 3-4 times a year at most.
Mostly, if I drink, it's on camera with you guys.
Yeah,
We're bad influences on you.
it's always when I'm going out or with friends,
You've
if I
seen
do
it.
drink.
I have like one really big glass of like whiskey or something, and then that's basically it.
Yeah, heroin is your thing, not so much alcohol.
If you're gonna be a junkie, you gotta do it right. What do you want me to say?
I've seen you nodding off. No, that's Honky.
That's me.
Yeah, he's the nodder.
Yeah, but him, it's not heroin. It's actually morphine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
He's got a drip going right into his arm.
The precursor to heroin.
Anyways. What about you, Lovecraft? You been working on anything? Any projects? I remember you had that touchscreen computer there.
Yeah, I haven't gotten much further with that. My whole December was just eaten up with parties and we hosted a big open house party. Yeah, not too much drugs. A lot of drinking though. Just like 4 or 5 different parties. We had a big open house. It was like an all day thing, like 10 hours of people coming and going, and yeah, it was just pretty much just work and parties all of December. But definitely looking forward to things slowing down a little bit and get back into having some actual free time. But yeah, yeah, a little bit of free time at least.
Now,
See how it goes.
do any of y'all, Lovecraft? Did you make any New Year's resolution, or do any of you guys do that?
Nothing in particular.
You just kind of consider it pointless?
Yeah, there's always going to be a curveball, so
New
just
Year's
try to stay out of trouble.
resolution. Yeah, New Year's resolutions rarely make it past February, so
Yeah. So I was at the gym the day after New Year's Day.
Even when I had a gym membership, I would not go to the gym in January.
It was shoulder to shoulder, and there it was so crowded. I was like, all I could do was just go. I found an elliptical machine in the corner. I just jumped on that, but I know none of those people will be there in February, so I don't have long to wait.
Yeah, by February the 1st, you'll be the only guy in there.
Pretty much, yeah. Now, my neighbor he moved out and gave me a rowing machine that was kind of cool. Well, I bought it from him for $25, but I never had one. I never really used one either, and I like it. I'll just put it in front of the TV, and I can do some rowing. It's pretty small and compact.
Ones?
It's not folding, but it is compact and small. It uses a like a hydraulic kind of
Flywheel or something.
piston on the bottom, to give you resistance instead of like the water wheel or the air wheel or something. So it's pretty small. I think he said it has Bluetooth and stuff on it. I haven't figured all that out, but supposedly there's an app that you can use with it and project it to your TV and do workouts and stuff. But I've just been watching movies and getting on it. It's pretty easy. So I didn't make any resolutions. I've been doing pretty good, so far this past year. So I'll just kind of stick with that.
I do need to do more cardio, but that's just me.
And I have been doing that. So
I need to do more cardio because my HDL is low. Now my LDL is perfectly fine, but my HDL is low.
Yeah.
And what's really weird is I told you guys that I had started on the testosterone therapy. Well, I had my
transitioning.
Yeah. Okay. I had my quarterly checkup, my first quarterly checkup, and my testosterone numbers were actually lower.
What? How is that possible?
He upped my dose, and he's testing me again in another 3 months. It shouldn't be possible.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's thinking it was a lab mistake. So, in March I go back again, and I'll get tested again.
And you have to pay for your doses, right? Or no, you don't pay for them?
It's through the VA.
Oh, okay. Well, at least there's that.
Yeah, I get disability because I damaged my testicles while I was in the military.
Because you're all falling apart. Well, that's weird. So you go from low to even lower on TRT. How does that happen?
I don't know.
And you haven't really changed anything like sleep patterns or anything like that, right?
No, I mean, I get just as little sleep as I always have.
You should be getting more sleep, for one thing.
I should, but
what is little sleep for you?
I have sleep disorders. I average 4 hours.
That's way too low.
I average usually about 5.
Really? Man.
Yeah, just about 6 if I'm lucky.
Yeah, I get 8 or 9 hours a night.
I wish. If there were
like a lazy slob sitting over
there
here.
were like 29 hours in a day, then maybe I could get like 7 hours of sleep. But
yeah, me and my cat were always sleeping.
Today I just didn't feel good this morning, so I did like call in sick to work. And
oh, you did?
So I slept from like midnight to like 11. I really didn't feel good. So.
Oh. So okay, are you guys night people or morning people? Like, do you go to bed late and get up late, or do you go to bed late and get up early, no matter what? Or go to bed on time?
I'm all over the place.
You're all over the place.
Yeah, sometimes I can be like, I'll work away if I'm working on one of the servers or something. I'll be there till like 3 or 4 o'clock, and then other times I want to go to bed at 9 o'clock, and I'm just all over the place.
So you don't have really a set sleep schedule then?
No, but I sleep pretty well. Apart from last night, I went skiing yesterday, and oh man, I had the worst wipeout that I've had for a few years.
Oh.
I went sliding down that mountain, 50, 60, 70 yards.
Damn.
Luckily, I didn't tumble and didn't break anything, but oh man, I was stiff this morning.
But you were sore.
I'm really glad I moved away from snow.
Well, I was going to say, Honky looks pretty cold there. What's the temperature like where you are?
Probably in the 20s right now. Yeah, 24. I'm in Massachusetts, so.
Computer, what's the temperature?
It's 46 here.
Oh, you're talking that foreign Fahrenheit stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
So what's 20? That's about minus 10 C in it, something like.
That is math.
Yes, that would be in the negatives. Anything below 32 would be in the negatives for Celsius.
We have an international audience, we should pay attention to that. We already had somebody complain that we don't say the time in UTC.
We have it's 25 here in in the land of the net mine.
Now, what is that in Celsius?
About -8.
-8. Okay.
I'm
Yes.
probably completely wrong.
It's 27 Fahrenheit here.
The actual
Who said it was
There-
27 Fahrenheit? Who was that?
Oh,
That's
that was
me.
Lovecraft.
actually there's one temperature where Fahrenheit and centigrade don't matter. It's 42 below.
And that's quite often where I live.
Not much matters at 42 below, okay? Other than moving away.
I mean, I don't know about you, but in Canada, yeah, I'm in Alberta, Calgary.
So what's
it's
the
been-
temperature there?
It's 27F, but that is warm. It's really warm for this time of year, which is about whatever 27F is. About 2 degrees C, but we're about 20 degrees higher than what we normally are.
Look,
So you should be in the single digits.
I used to live in
Fahrenheit.
Iowa, and I am quite aware of what -30 feels like.
Now,
And-
Amarillo in Texas, they're getting a big snowstorm. Did you see that, Joe?
No, I did not, and I
Yeah.
hope they keep it.
I think it's on its way.
Dallas
That might-
does not do well with snow.
No.
No matter, are you prepared for the weekend?
Yeah, I was just bringing in the last of my ice chippers and stuff
Y'all have a storm coming?
while I
Yeah.
stepped away. Oh, yes. Unfortunately, this one is going to go back and forth between snow, sleet. I call it a Heinz 57 special.
It's
it's-
going back and forth between fuck that and no thanks.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then they're talking about it being 20s overnight, which means if you don't get it cleaned up,
Skating
you're
rink.
well, you either have it. Well, the skating rink is part of the whole deal, but if you don't really get things shoveled or scraped off, everything turns to concrete.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it stays like that.
Yeah, I remember one winter around near my house, there's a post office with parking area, and we had one of those wet snow winters, and they had potholes. They weren't in the road. They were in the 3 or 4 inches of ice on top of the road.
Yep. Actually,
Look, all this talk is making me cold.
you're welcome.
I live in the South for a reason, damn it.
All right. Do we want to go to the discussion the things we've kind of thought of as discussion topics, or do we
Yeah.
want to go jump into the movie and then go to the discussion topics?
All right, let's do the movie real quick.
let's
Get
do
it
the
out of the
movie.
way. Yeah. Has everybody seen it or not seen it? Anybody not seen it?
That boy, have you ever seen Cyber Tracker 2? With Don the Dragon Wilson?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not a big movie guy, but I didn't even know. No, I've not seen that movie. No.
We're about to talk about it. Lovecraft, did
You're
you see
not
it?
missing anything.
I did.
All right. Let's start the theme.
Oh, here we go.
The Linux Movie Cast.
So, this
So
is
basically, what you do is you take Terminator and you remove the time travel aspect of it, and you have Cyber Tracker 2.
this is a. Well, you're not wrong. I'll give you that. So we saw Cyber Tracker or 1 or the original. I don't know. It's been several months now. That was one of our picks. starring Don the Dragon Wilson, who, if you don't know, is the greatest actor of all time. And this was a straight-to-video release, just like the first one. Let's see, what year is that? 1995. And this the first one was about a conspiracy where they used these. Also, I would say RoboCop is a good comparison as well. Probably
because it's about the robotic police officers, basically.
Right, and so
cyborg police officers.
So
yeah, the one guy straight up looked like a cheap version of RoboCop.
That's
number
basically all he
nine.
Number
was.
9.
Yeah,
Number
yeah.
9.
That's what it was. So yeah, the first one was about they were introducing these robots as police officers, and of course, there's a conspiracy where things went wrong, and somebody was using them for evil purposes, and there was what they call in this movie a terrorist organization, but really they were like a underground resistance that Don the Dragon Wilson was a part of, and his wife against these robot cops in the first one. So the second one, supposedly everything is cool now with the robot cops, and they're in use, and nobody's abusing their power or anything like that, except that there is one man who wants to. What state is this supposed to be in? Do you know?
I don't know.
That he's the governor of? Is it California?
It looked like California.
Yeah,
I think
really
the one
did.
license plate looked like a California plate.
Yeah, I think it's California. So he is the lieutenant governor, I guess, and he currently has a plan where he's involved with a bad guy who used to be part of the CIA. And now the bad guy has stolen technology from the Cyber Tracker project, when Cyber Trackers are these robot policemen, and he's made his own Cyber Trackers to be his like private army or whatever. So the lieutenant governor. Oh, go ahead.
He's made them look like specific people so
Well,
that
I'm
they
getting
can
to
get
that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the lieutenant governor, I'm giving you kind of the inside baseball on it. So if you haven't seen it, you don't want to be spoiled, just fast forward this. But the lieutenant governor has entered into a deal with him to claim the governorship by assassinating the current governor. And the assassin is one of the cyber trackers that is, I wouldn't say disguised, but I guess is made to look like Don the Dragon Wilson's wife, who is a reporter, a news reporter. And so she shows up at by she, I mean the cyber tracker shows up at a news conference for the governor, and she shoots the governor. And so now the lieutenant governor is in control, which is what he wanted. And he has the cyber tracker program behind him. And since it was Don the Dragon's wife that was seen on TV shooting the governor, everybody's after her. And they're also after Don the Dragon Wilson, who is a cop working for this whatever city this is in police force. So they're on the run, and they're trying to fight back against not only the cyber trackers, but they have the real police against them. And it's got lots of action and gunfights and cool technology, and actually
And two Don the Dragon Wilsons.
yeah, and if you ever want to see, also if you're wanting to see Cyber Tracker against Cyber Tracker, you see that in this movie too. They fight each other. Yeah. One is a clone of Don the Dragon Wilson. The other is whatever. 9. Yeah, number 9. And so if you saw the first one, this one is, I would say, a bigger budget. It's better made as far as like direction and action sequences and stuff like that go. But it just doesn't have the charm of the first one, because the first one was so goofy, I think, and had so many crazy moments in it. So I would say maybe this is why Joe was bored, because it wasn't as batshit crazy as the first one was. Would you say, Joe?
I would have to agree with that. There was nothing in this movie that really captured me.
It was kind of generic, right?
Yeah. It was here's an action movie from the 90s. Woo!
Yeah, it was very generic, very standard action movie. I will say it was better made, but that's not always a good thing, especially if you're looking for something goofy and something fun to laugh at and stuff. And I don't know, I kind of feel the same way. I still liked it. I mean, it's a decent movie. It wasn't boring to me, but it didn't have the charm of the first one because the first one was so bad.
It was missing character.
Yeah, missing that certain je ne sais quoi, the whatever it is that made it so ridiculous in the first one. But I still enjoyed it. I watched it on YouTube mostly at work, and the quality on the YouTube copy was actually pretty good. So
yeah, but it's a good thing you mentioned it yesterday because I remembered to watch it last night.
Oh, really? You forgot about watching it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's been a while since we did a show.
I know.
So. But,
I thought it was. If you like watching things explode, then this is the movie for you.
Lots of explosions.
Lots of cars exploding. There was a whole chase scene where the only thing he did was just shoot cars and watch them explode. Lots of explosions. Lots of useless gunfights. Where people would either show up and can't shoot anything, or people would show up and they would just die automatically. It was kind of flip or coin at the time. There was the beginning scene where with the shootout where a cop would just pull up, and the second they pulled up, the bad guys up in the tower would just boom, 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 and then gone, and then just spend the rest of the time shooting at nothing. And then, the cops would just show up and they'd just be shooting at nothing the entire time and maybe hit wing one guy. And then there'd be the shootout down the hallway. Nobody is under cover whatsoever, but they're just sitting there shooting at each other and not hitting anything.
And all the barrels are exploding and nobody's getting hurt.
No, yeah, exactly.
And you had Don the Dragon Wilson, and you had very, very few fist fights.
Yeah,
right.
I agree with that too. There was one kind of that lasted maybe 2 minutes when he was fighting the main bad guy at the end, Mm-hmm. Oh, and here's something. They built up half the movie to the super supreme cyber tracker the guy built. Right. And he lasts 30 seconds and he gets shot with whatever that ray gun thing is that comes out of the ceiling by Don the Dragon Wilson. You see electricity go around him and then he's just gone. He's dead. so all that build up for nothing, He was actually just a big pussy. I noticed something, and I may be crazy, but I could swear that at that shootout in the beginning when the governor is assassinated, that footage was the exact same footage that was in the first one too.
I think you're right.
You think I'm right?
People jumping around in the by the park or whatever.
Because I remember that the black guy that was shooting, and he was, and then him getting shot. But where did those guys come from? They doesn't.
I don't
know. They doesn't say anything about that, and I think they just cut it from the first movie and put it in this one.
I think so.
Because I was having severe deja vu. I was like, man, I know I've seen that
you need to mute your
before.
jitsi again, fat boy.
But I'm glad I'm not crazy because I think that's true.
I think you're true. I think that's right too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it enough to be able to say that particular shot was in the first one. So
I think it was. But other than that, it was generic, but it was entertaining enough. I wouldn't say it was a terrible movie. I would just say it was just kind of whatever.
Cheesy.
Generic,
Yeah, cheesy action movie.
It just didn't have the fun that I liked about the first one that made it so ridiculous, But other than that, what about you, Lovecraft? What did you think about it?
It was it was all right. If we're talking stars, I'm thinking 2 stars. The acting was pretty flat. There was a little bit of desire there. At the very beginning, I swear, when he was making the buy for the counterfeit money at the very, very beginning, I swear some of the cops had they were shooting these blue lasers, they were shooting.
I saw
and
that.
I'm like, oh cool, maybe we should get some more of these laser guns. And then it's just all like bullets the rest of the movie. I'm like, oh,
Right.
maybe the special effects budget ran out or something like that. But I was like, I was waiting to see some laser guns, and I'm like, yeah, it never really happened except for the pop out gun from the ceiling, which just kills everything. But
Yeah.
I was hoping for a better mix of weapons or something like that. But yeah, definitely probably not the worst movie we've watched, but yeah, it's
Pretty generic.
yeah, I mean, but it was if you did watch it on YouTube though, I don't know if we watched it on the same channel, but wherever that was hosted, there's like a couple hundred other movies of similar ilk, which
I'll subscribe to that
you may
channel.
be interested. Yeah. There's a bunch of other ones on there. There's some more Don the Dragon Wilson ones and some other B movies from that era.
Yeah,
but that flat acting, that's basically Don's signature right there. I mean, that's all he does.
Yeah, the name of the channel is called Vintage Action.
Yep,
and it's got all of the shows, like all of the movies are this same thing. Prey of the Jaguar, Future Kick starring Don the Dragon Wilson, Assault on Devil's Island, Riot, Live by the Fist, Crime Zone. I mean, these are all movies that nobody gives a shit about the copyright, so he can just upload them to YouTube. And they're all there, the full things. Yeah, if you do a search for Cyber Tracker 2, you see that channel, Vintage Action, definitely check that out, because it's got some great
I will give the movie this. It's better than Universal Soldiers.
Well, yeah,
that is a very low bar. I mean, there's a lot of almost every movie is better
that
than
is the bottom of the bar. That's
the lowest bar.
That's the lowest bar. Yeah, I mean that's above. What was the other one?
That mech one. What was it called?
Yeah. What the hell is it called?
Oh, Gunhead.
Gunhead.
Yeah,
That's right.
Gunhead.
Yes,
that was down there with Universal Soldiers, I'd say. But
Universal Soldiers right above Gunhead.
Oh, you think
I could
so?
follow Gunhead.
I don't
I
think
follow
so.
Universal Soldiers. Universal Soldiers just bottom. That's it.
Yeah, I would say that's the very bottom.
Yeah,
with Gunhead right above it.
Right.
All of the Maniac Cop films, I think, are on that YouTube channel.
Are they really?
Those are pretty fun.
Yeah, the first one's got Campbell. What's his name? Bruce Campbell. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a hesitant thumbs up. I don't know about you guys. So thumbs down from Joe. What about you? Half a star.
That's
Lovecraft. What about you?
1.5 stars.
So would you say that's a half star, like a half thumb, or a thumbs up, or a thumbs down?
I think I'm gonna have to go down.
Okay, so you and Joe thumbs down, Honky half a star, and me a full. Well, no, I'm gonna give it half a star too.
There we go.
So
it's 1 star.
It got one
star.
thumbs up.
Which I don't think
I'll give it a half a star.
Half a star. So we got 1.5 now.
Who was that? Morton C. Oh, you watched it? I didn't know you were here.
Yeah, I did. I watched it.
So, all right, 1.5 stars for Cybertracker.
Well, technically, it got negative half a star.
Oh, because we don't do it like that, okay? We're not that mean around here.
Negative half a star.
Now, another thing, it's not just in this movie, but I think it's just weird in general whenever I see this, and tell me if you feel the same way or don't. When robots carry human guns, is that strange?
It is a little strange.
Like, especially a robot that's made to be a cop has to carry a regular gun. Shouldn't it just have
like a gun arm?
Yeah, like a gun arm or guns in its chest or something like that.
But you don't want to make it too scary.
That limits its availability to
all the training.
Things, though.
All the training videos all the videos I've seen of the Cyberdyne robots use regular guns, regular weapons.
And they're just holding it?
You haven't seen those?
No, I never heard of that.
They're the remember the mechanical dogs?
Yeah.
And now they're standing upright and holding weapons.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
And they do the gun range stuff where you're shooting the stuff in the distance, but people are interfering with them, like hitting them with metal pipes and stuff, and they have to adjust to random scenarios. It's scary.
So are those going to be soldiers now?
I don't know what they're going to do with them. Probably private security for the elite.
That's crazy. I don't like that.
There was some. I don't remember what movie it was. It was probably a really big one, like Blade Runner or something. But they go out and the AI started building itself, and they were like weird animal, insect type creatures. And I don't remember how they were using weapons, but I don't think it was. I think they had switched from handguns. Like
that sounds like Stargate Atlantis or something.
I was going to say it sounds like one of the movies we watched.
It might have been one of the movies we watched.
Huh.
What the hell was that one called?
I don't remember that one.
That's the one where that weird little robot part was found, and then it just started assimilating everything around it.
Or it built it was a war bot.
Yes.
Or part of a war bot, and it like built itself and repaired itself, and
yes,
that girl, and yeah.
Robotrix?
No.
Run up Robotrix.
That's the last time we bring porn onto this channel.
I don't remember it. Alita Battle Angel?
No, it wasn't Alita Battle Angel. It had like one known actor on it.
There was?
His name I can't remember.
Digital
Man? The husband.
I don't know. It just doesn't sound familiar.
I think at the end it like busted through the window. It'd been like hanging outside. Yeah.
Hardware from 1990.
Like, you had to wear gas masks and stuff to go outside or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like that. That's a good movie.
Yeah, Iggy Pop and Lemmy from Motorhead was in it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I forgot Lemmy was in there for like a half a second.
Yeah. Yeah, and they even had Guar was on the TV playing in the background. I remember that.
Yep, she was listening to Guar or something when she was working.
Yeah.
Grow back the beard, Mordency.
Just pull your hair around to your chin and make a beard. Okay, so we ready for the next movie? Yeah, like that. Like a Fu Manchu or something. All right. The next movie. Oh, wait, let me get the drum roll. Do, 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 do. There we go. It's Virtual Combat from 1996. That sounds like a winner.
Sorry, what was that?
That's the next movie we're going to watch. Virtual Combat from 1996. Oh, this is 95. Oh, it's got Don the Dragon Wilson in it. Okay. Straight to video. It says, scientist brings virtual reality characters to life. 2 are women from the cybersex game site. The third is a warrior who wants to unleash the rest of the bad guys from the virtual reality underworld. A border cop must defeat the virtual reality warrior while learning to relate to one of the cybersex babes.
Oh, and you know the acting is going to be epic in this.
Well, I mean, it's got Don Wilson in it, so
right.
It's got Rip Taylor and the voice of Michael Dorn.
It sure does. That's
Rip
Taylor. There he is. Michael Dorn.
So how is
Larry Poindexter?
How are you picking it? Is it generated of what you're using there?
I've got a script, a Python script that picks it from all. It's on the
list that we put together.
Yeah, we have a list that we've put together of. So the criteria initially was that it has to be somewhat tech related. But that line is
Look,
it's a
look,
very
we try.
thin line.
We try. If the description says something like it's based on a game and they're told by the game to do things and then it turns into a demon movie, that's not my fault.
We're gonna blame you anyways. That's all right.
So I'll put a link to the movie list in the Mumble chat, and it's anybody can edit it. And if you have anything you want to watch, Fat Boy, you can add it to the list. As long as it's tech related, that's the only rule. Actually, there's 2 rules. It can't be a movie you've already seen. That's the first rule. If somebody else has seen it, that's fine. And it must be a tech movie. Those are
Not
the 2 rules.
tangentially tech movie.
Tech related in some way.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah. So.
Okay, it's asking me for a password.
What? You went through this last time.
Yeah, mine's
did it
saying
say?
username and password.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe something happened.
Don't blame me. Again.
All right, I'm going to copy a link. Try this link.
So is this like Virtuosity with Don Dragon Wilson?
I put another link in there. See if that one works without
that
asking.
worked.
Okay, cool. Do what? What'd you say? Oh, yeah. Is it like Virtuosity? It sounds kind of like it, right?
It sounds kind of like Virtuosity with Don Dragon Wilson.
Did it work for you, Fat Boy?
Yeah, I've just got a Markdown document or a MD document or something.
Yeah, and you can edit that. You can look at the movies that the ones we've seen have a hash next to them so they don't get picked up by the script.
We need more.
Add more, but not ones you've seen. You'd like to do that.
Only if I haven't seen them in like 20 years.
You can, even if you've already seen them 20 years ago, that still counts.
The only one I recognize is Weird Science.
Yeah, we haven't watched that yet. We have a script that picks the movie at random. And so we just got to watch whatever it gives us.
You know, not having watched them before is how we end up with movies with demons.
That's fine. Hey, that was an interesting movie, I thought. Not so much tech related. Well, I guess I had the game in there.
Barely.
Yeah, but it's okay.
It was tech tangential.
It was never a movie I would have watched otherwise, so this exposed me to something new. Now,
I'm surprised you've not got War Games.
War Games is on here.
Yeah, we've already seen it.
War Games: The Dead Code was on here.
We saw that too, right?
Yeah.
War Games is not on here.
That's because everybody had watched it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, everybody probably has seen it at some point.
You're right. That's why we had the dead code on there. Yeah, if somebody's seen it, we don't add it, or they can't add it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you can add it.
Yeah.
But if you have, you can't be the one to add it.
Right.
Wasn't Heavy? You've got.
You cut out there. I don't know what you said.
Was Heavy Metal a cartoon though?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be animated.
And so is Titan AE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember trying to get in the cinema, and I was underage to try and watch that. And I think it had a 14 in the UK. It had something like 14, and I think I was about 10 or 11 at the time trying to get in the cinema.
Yeah, man, that movie's still great. I think.
What was the other animated one? We watched was it Belle?
Oh,
yeah, that one was good. That one was good. So you were born in 1971?
Just a couple of years before that.
You're just calling everybody out here, Joe.
Yeah, I must have been 12 then in 81. I was trying to get in the cinema. I was like 2 years younger, and we had to get one of my friends' dads to phone up saying that he was my dad to verify my age or something like that.
Yeah, that worked.
Yeah, but we said that my dad was phoning up, and then he said my friend's dad said that he was my uncle, and they let me in it. But I was only about 4'10" at the time. There was no way I was 14. But I remember getting in. But I mean, my buddy was like 3 years older than me, but he was like 6 foot at the time anyway. So made me look very, very underage.
This movie is on Tubi.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to tape my jellyfin with it.
I actually watched
What do you mean,
Tubi the other
jellyfin?
I was watching Tubi the other day. I've not been on it for years, and I went on it the other day and watched what was that film? The Great Escape.
Oh, that's a great movie.
We're all big fans of Tubi here.
Especially Danny.
Especially me.
Do you basically just watch YouTube and Tubi?
No. Sorry. Well, that's probably not too far from the truth. I do watch a lot of movies on my what is that? I have Kodi, because I pay for that reel to grid service. But yeah, a lot of stuff I watch is on YouTube, or I was trying to put the link into the show notes so you can see it, the Tubi link. A lot of stuff I watch is just being bored and going down the rabbit hole on YouTube or something like that, or Tubi, Actually, one thing they took off of Amazon Prime too, I watched stuff on there. They took In the Heat of the Night, the show with Archie Bunker, who plays the they took that off of Amazon. Now there's a new streaming service called MGM Plus, and you have to subscribe to that to watch In the Heat of the Night. And I was just getting into that show. Sucks.
Tubi does have a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
Plus a lot of MST3K, which is what I like.
It does. Show notes. This is 235.
Yep.
Trying to upgrade the matrix here. Put the movie in here too. There we go. Virtual combat. Sounds like a video game.
Actually, looking on Tubi, there is a lot of movies that starts with the word virtual. Virtual Vegas, Virtual Girl, Virtual Assassin, Virtual Deathmatch, which I added to the list. Virtual Reality. Oh, there's a bunch.
So our mission is to watch every single one of those movies.
I do want to add a couple more from this list that say virtual onto.
You should.
I have been. Virtual Dead. Lured into a virtual reality game by an evil computer programmer, a group of gamers find themselves trapped in a fight for survival with the undead. This is going on the list.
Definitely. Ooh, this one looks good. Your virtual pet hamster. The happy hamster. There's some movies that have to do with... There's some called Virtuous. Not exactly virtual, but they look like Christian movies, I guess.
Christian movies?
All superheroes must die. Huh.
Well, that's an interesting title.
I'm just reading the virtual combat brief of what it's about, and they've got the word virtual in every sentence.
Yeah, they're really pushing. Well, what year is this? The
96.
Yeah, so that was the big buzzword at the time. Virtual reality. That's how you get people to watch a movie.
I have
It's
one.
like saying a border cop must defeat the virtual reality warrior while learning to relate to one of the cybersex babes.
What were you saying, Netminer? You have a movie?
I have a movie to add. I think it's called The Last Star Warrior.
The Last Star Warrior.
No, it's called The Last Starfighter, and we
No,
already
it's
watched
not.
it.
It is not called that. Stop lying.
Not that hot steaming pile of crap again.
That is one of the best movies ever made.
Don't listen to him, fat boy. He's a compulsive liar.
I mean, The Last Star Warrior is...
Okay, is it Dominion, The Last Star Warrior? That's what pops up when I search for it. From 2015?
Well, I don't know what year it was.
It says... Oh, go ahead.
It has your classic semi-burnt out veteran and who's got to save save peace talks from being so that the peace talks are not blown up or something.
See if this sounds familiar. In 5 days, the world changed as a retired intelligent agent turned UFO investigator races to discover the fate of the human race. An alien observer searches for the human woman he loves. That was the synopsis.
Well, that's a different
one. Oh, it is? The Last Star Warrior.
I don't know, but I think we should add Dominion to our list.
Yeah. It says Dominion, The Last Star Warrior. That's the only thing I can find for The Last Star Warrior. I'm going to put it on the list.
There's something called Star Warrior, The Legend of Agarus from 2021. But that doesn't sound like it.
Always wanted to be a Star Warrior. Okay. Did we talk about the fate of Firefox?
No. Should we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is an article posted on the Lemmy, and I'll post it in the show notes here. It says the Fall of Firefox. And to be honest, I can't dispute the article. It just seems so weird to say that because I'll use it constantly. So I guess I'm kind of blinded by my bias. Who here uses Firefox? I do.
Me.
Morrissey does. Lovecraft does. And like how many years do you think you've used Firefox?
Over 10.
Oh, definitely over 10.
Yeah, I've been looking to come off, go on to Firefox, but I've tried a few times. I've used it in the past a lot, but I should really go on to it full time.
Now, it says, as far as the history goes...
go ahead. Since it was Netscape?
Yeah. So I was about to say, the Netscape browser suite source code was open sourced in 1998. It was open source to save it, basically. And what grew out of that was Firefox in 2002, created by the Mozilla project. Their goal was to create the first universal internet client and then a pure web browser called Firefox. It says first, Netscape loyalists and open source and Linux fans moved to it. Over time, it gained a mass following. By the summer of 2010, it reached its high point of 34.1% of the market share. Ever since, it's been downhill. So would you guys like to guess the current market share of Firefox now?
I would say 2%.
12%.
Very good. It says currently at 2.2%, which is crazy to me. It's hard to believe. But I guess, I don't know. I guess that's
How
true.
how many people left because of Snap?
I don't know.
It's a terrible experience after Snap.
Really?
Oh,
So the snap of Firefox is bad?
It is horrible. My Think Penguin laptop is unusable because of it.
Really?
Wow.
And the hundreds of tabs I have open.
Now, to be fair, they count mobile browsers as well in this survey. So Google Chrome has 47.9%. I think a lot of that has to do with Android because Safari has 36.2%. And I know not everybody's got a Mac, so that's all on the iPhone.
I actually use Firefox, is it called Firefox Focus on the Android, just so you can search for stuff. And like, let's say you search for a printer or a scanner or anything what you want, you don't get like ads for the next 3 weeks of something that you've already just bought, something like that.
Now, I use Firefox on Android as well, but mainly because of the extensions. Because I use uBlock Origin to block ads and a few other extensions, the Wallabag extension and stuff like that. But I'll admit that on Android, it's not as fast as Google Chrome is, but I still rather use Firefox, so I don't have to see ads and stuff.
Well, I actually use the Firefox Focus, which is just every time it closes it just wipes out all the history, so it's like a fresh install every time.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I haven't used Firefox Focus.
I've used on mobile. I'd use Firefox the beta version. I'm not sure if it's just a continuous nightly build or what, but I think it runs fine. I mean, I've never noticed it. There's never been any noticeable difference, at least not in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I use uBlock on it as well. I mean, I'd rather open up tabs in the Firefox than I would in the Chrome. On most of my machines, I usually on my laptops and stuff, I usually wind up using Chromium. But I don't. You're right when you say that. I think most people are just so mobile focused right now that it's going to be either the default, which is Chrome, or Safari for anything Apple related. And then after that, I mean, there's not many. The biggest reason why people moved over to Firefox was because Internet Explorer was a hot piece of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, Edge decided that they were going to build it off of Chrome instead of whatever that they were using before.
Yeah.
So now I'm not sure if that means
Edge is still on. It mentions Edge being built on Chromium, Microsoft Edge.
Yeah. I wonder if that means.
Yeah, but like back in the day, you couldn't. I remember going on probably around the Netscape, probably maybe Firefox as well. Like you went onto your banking website and it won't let you in unless you used Internet Explorer. So there's no technical reason why Firefox should be at 2%. Really, is there? I mean, it should be compatible with like every website, really.
Yeah, it is. I think the reason they give in this article is the rise of Chrome. Chrome, it says they say that Chrome reinvented the browser. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was a big change. And I actually switched to Chrome for a little while from Firefox, and I was happy with how fast it was. But eventually it began to kind of slow down, not nearly as speedy as it used to be. And then I wasn't fond of Google. Now this is still in my Windows days, so I wasn't fond of Google having access to my searches and things like that. So I switched back to Firefox, and then on Linux I just carried over Firefox from Windows. So But I don't know what the future holds for Firefox. I mean, the source is open, luckily, so.
But even a lot of the other browsers, what's the engine? You know, the web engine underneath. They all use the same as Chrome anyway.
The Chromium, yeah. It says Opera, Vivaldi, and Brave all run on top of Chromium, as well as Microsoft Edge.
What is that? WebKit?
I don't think so. I think Safari uses WebKit. I think it used to be WebKit. Okay. So
I think you've convinced me. I think for the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna swap over to Firefox and let you know how it goes.
What are you currently using?
Well, I'm on a Chromebook at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So no, I mean on the Linux machine that's just behind me there. That's probably Chrome. No, it's actually Chrome that's running on that. I've got Firefox. I do use Firefox now and then, but it's usually if I want to open a totally separate window, you know. I guess laziness. So I should really get back onto the Firefox.
I use Firefox on my Chromebook.
Yeah, I've got Firefox on this Chromebook, but I don't know. I just click on the icon and use it. I've been meaning to think about getting back onto Firefox though.
Also, there's a new Chrome spin come out called Thorium.
Yeah, you've mentioned that before. That's what you use, right?
I use on some machines, yes. Interestingly, MX Linux for the Pies uses Chromium. They support both Chromium and Firefox, but they recommend Chromium because it's a faster loading browser.
It's weird. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say apparently the engines are WebKit, Blink, Gecko, and something called Ghana. So WebKit is used by Apple for Safari. Blink is what Google uses. Gecko is what Mozilla uses, and Ghana is actually it's the other offshoots of Firefox. The Pale Moon, Basilisk, and K Melon use. There's other ones that are like maintained and discontinued. There's with Trident, Edge HTML, Flow, Servo,
what is the
NetSurf, and
Iceweasel?
LibWeb. Iceweasel is a what is it? Probably Gecko.
And then there's like a water something too, isn't there?
Those are all offshoots of Waterfox. Those are all offshoots of Firefox, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
So they're probably using either Ghana, G-O-A. How would you say this? G-O-A-N-N-A. Goanna?
I guess so. I'm not familiar with that word.
Goanna. G-O-A-N-N-A. There's Gecko, which is just a straight up Mozilla, Firefox, and Thunderbird. And like I said, Pale Moon, Basilisk, and K Melon, M-E-L-E-O-N.
How's this spelled? G-O-N-N-A?
Yeah. Dude, G-O-A-N-N-A.
Oh, G-O-A.
Is Iceweasel still a thing?
Probably.
Don't know.
I thought it got folded back into Firefox.
Now, this article links to another article that gives this writer's reason of why Firefox is in decline. You want to hear some of these reasons? The first one is tabs on top. As soon as this decision was made, Firefox started losing market share. Every other program on a PC uses tabs against the active window. Proprietary software like Microsoft Office and Adobe, Notepad++, Then Google decided to make the tabs on top of standard for its Chrome browser, which was designed for mobile devices, not desktops. On a smartphone, it makes sense as there isn't room for a full blah, blah, blah. But it says when Firefox first did it, apparently people weren't ready for that. So when Chrome did it, it's okay. Constant removal of features that no one uses, in quotes. Every change made to Firefox had the same pattern. The default feature was changed, but there was a menu setting to revert it. Then the menu setting was removed, and you could only change it in the About config. And then the About config option was removed, and every protest from the user base met the same response. You're just a tiny minority, and most people like the change. It mentions third-party add-ons constantly being out of date because they don't keep up with the changes.
Yeah. Does that sort of, you're only a tiny minority and live with it, sound like a gnome response?
It sounds like what the answer is to a lot of stuff, especially things that have to do with Linux. Let's see. The next one, bad coding paradigms. Mozilla source code is a nightmare. Poor memory management. I don't know if that's still true. I think it's, at one time I believe it was. But I would say Chrome is just as bad with memory management as Firefox is, if not worse.
Except if it's running under Snap.
Yeah. Invading your privacy at the same time as telling you we value your privacy. It says hidden telemetry that isn't disabled when you click disabled telemetry. First run pings, forced signing of add-ons, auto updates you can't switch off, pinging every 10 minutes. Anyway. I was surprised. I was just surprised to see that Firefox has fallen that far down to 2.2%.
That is
well,
crazy.
I've just tried putting Firefox.
Oh, Fatboy, you have to mute your Jitsi. There you go.
Okay. So what I did, I installed Firefox on here. Shut down the Chrome browser and went back into Jitsi. And I didn't see any of your video on any of them. It just didn't work.
Jitsi doesn't work.
It doesn't work on Firefox.
I guess that's another mark against it. It used to, but it doesn't anymore. Firefox did something strange with their browser.
So what are you guys using now?
I'm using Chromium.
All that talk about Firefox. Oh, Firefox!
It's the only thing I use Chromium
in the middle of I had to install Chrome to jump on the Jitsi because everybody's video was either non-existent or green
on the new laptop.
And in the middle of installing, Firefox started working, like while it was installing packages, and as soon as it finished installing, Firefox stopped working again. So it's clearly something that is fixable.
Yes.
They just don't care.
They don't care.
So open source Jitsi and Firefox, which is open source, don't work together.
Right.
What do you know?
Firefox did something that changed something, and Jitsi is still trying to catch up to work to make it work, which was the same complaint that a lot of people had when it came to extensions. Firefox would always change something, but they wouldn't tell anybody, and so people that made Firefox extensions were constantly trying to catch up to Firefox when they found out their stuff wasn't working. So
listen,
so when did it stop? When did it stop working on Firefox?
Oh, I guess about a year ago.
Was it that long?
Maybe not that long. At least 6 months ago. Because I've had to use Chromium for a long time now. just to view the Jitsi. But I don't know what changed, but I guess I'll find out. They keep pushing releases of Jitsi quite a bit, so the next release, hopefully I'll install that and maybe it'll be different. Who knows?
Listen, people who use Jitsi are of such a small percentage
Such
on
a small
Firefox,
minority
all right?
of people.
The small minority of people
Yeah,
that use Jitsi on Firefox, all right?
that would be their excuse, I'm sure.
Considering that there's only like 1% of people that, use Firefox, they're not wrong.
Well, it's true.
What is this, laughing? Joe opens up a door, says a little comment, and it shuts the door.
Is that what happened? Oh, there he is.
Evidently, this metal
laughing.
door allows the audio to come to me, but not for the microphone to go to you guys.
Oh,
So,
okay. That's weird.
Yeah.
He just opens the door, says a joke, and then goes back inside.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, guys, but I'm falling over. Too many exciting nights with you guys, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Here's another one I want to get to real quick, just because it's kind of fun. It's you guys know LWN, the Linux news site.
I want to say yes.
Well,
Yes.
I posted it in the show notes. It's their predictions for 2024 involving technology, Linux, everything like that. So some of the big ones: the kernel community will begin to move away from email. It says, as the core of its development process, progress will be slow, and many kernel developers will prove strongly resistant to any alternative workflow, often for good reasons, but there will be at least a few developers who are able to get work reviewed, updated, and merged without having to touch a mail client. That's hard to believe.
Well,
What are they going to use instead?
I don't know. It'd have to be something that everybody has access to, and hopefully something decentralized,
Oh, speaking of decentralized, Google Groups is making noises about dropping Usenet.
Why? What do they have to gain by that?
Well, evidently a lot of the Usenet channels that are on Google Groups are filled with spam from Google sites. So if they drop the Usenet feed, then Google Groups becomes just Google Groups instead of a Usenet port. A Usenet portal filled with spam from the Google Groups hosting. So you're going to have to think about it, going to Eternal September or there are a couple of other providers, and actually start going back to the old school Usenet clients and whatnot.
You want to hear another prediction? The enterprise distribution market will be shaken up in 2024. Last year, vendors working in the space all apparently came to the conclusion that there was little to be done other than offering clones of Red Hat Enterprise Linux, essentially ceding control over that part of the market to one company. As Red Hat makes it harder to compete in that space, though, both vendors and users will increasingly ask themselves why they are even bothering. Stable Linux does not need to be a copy of RHEL, and there are a number of interesting approaches that could draw parts of the market away from RHEL in the future, such as Rocky Linux. Well, no, they're saying does not need to be a copy of RHEL. What would be something like a popular
Canonical.
server? Huh? Oh, like something Canonical puts out, or what's the the server OS that. Why am I blanking on the name? It has the little lizard, the chameleon. What is that? OpenSUSE.
SUSE, yeah.
SUSE. Yeah. What's there? Is it just OpenSUSE? Is there server OS as well? I thought they had another name.
SUSE Linux, yeah.
SUSE Linux, okay. Maybe something like that. Oh, here's a very topical prediction. Firefox will reverse its long-time decrease in browser share. After just dogging it for the last 15 minutes. It says, after gaining a strong impetus from Google's plan to switch to Manifest version 3 in the Chrome browser, that transition will make ad blockers harder, if not impossible, to implement in Chrome. They are the only thing that makes the World Wide Web tolerable for many users. Switching browsers is not harder than installing the ad blocker in the first place. Many people will find the motivation to make that switch when the alternative is a constant stream of ads, trackers, and malware. Now, what percentage of browser users do you think use ad blockers? I'd say it's very small.
Probably.
At least half.
Probably.
You think so, really? That many?
uBlock Origin is so easy to install. I'm
yeah,
sure
but I just
that
think about like my family, you know, my mom and aunts. They don't know anything about ad block. That's a lot of people that use the web.
And again, I think we need to go back to the previous discussion where we're talking about most of people who are using their browsers are using them on mobile anyways. And the only way you're going to get any sort of ad blocker on mobile is if you install Firefox. That means you have to install one on your own, and then you have to go in and install a ad blocker on top of it. Or you do Pi-hole, but you have to be smart.
I can see grandma
the amount of people who are using Pi-hole.
Look at all the grandmas that installed Pi-hole on the Raspberry 4s recently.
Today, 42.7% of internet users worldwide report using an ad blocker.
Really? That is much higher than I thought it would be. I was thinking 10, 12% at most. That's amazing.
Maybe even like the 20s range, but I wouldn't even go like 30.
That gives me hope in the human race, actually. That's that high.
I've not used an ad blocker for a long, long time. I don't use one at the moment.
Really? I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was a few years ago that I had a Pi-hole running, but I found that at the time it was some of the apps that I was using, it was crippling that, and I put Pi-hole onto the whole network, and I got a lot of abuse from the family saying half the stuff didn't work. So I took it off, and I just live with it at the moment.
It's exactly what I did. There was just
one thing. That's weird.
I don't know what happened.
You must have broken your phone.
It was like Rakuten or something like that my wife uses. That it blocked using that for some reason, and I had to just wind up because I don't remember what I was using it on, whether it was DietPi or something. We were supposed to be able to just go in there and like disable it temporarily or like disable it from certain things. I wasn't able to do that within that version of Pi-hole, so I just wound up just shutting it down. So yeah, I mean, I like the only place where I use it is I have uBlock Origin on my Firefox browser on my phone, and that's really about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was using the BBC News app, and I think it was crippling that. It's crippling a few things, so I might as well. I'm guessing set up on the Wi-Fi here is set up to another network, and then have that just for me with a Pi-hole running, and then everybody else can put up with the ads. At least if I know that it's not working, I know how to fix it. But I think the spouse approval won't pass there.
Now I had trouble. I couldn't use the Amazon app anymore on my phone when I had Pi-hole running.
Mine works fine.
See, this is a long time ago, so it's probably changed now. But now Amazon worked fine in the browser on my laptop, but on my phone, if I was using the app, I would go to a product and it would just have that little puppy dog and say something went wrong. But
a lot of my family used to complain about a lot of their Android games because you have to be able to watch an ad in order to be able to continue playing or whatever. And that caused issues. But the first time I had Pi-hole set up, and then I brought it down, and then when I set it up the second time, it did not cause all those problems. So I don't know.
I'm thinking about setting it up again on one of those Radshaw Zeros, those little mini computers I got, and just trying
One of
it
the
out.
ones you sent back?
No. These are the little single board computers.
Yeah, one of the ones you sent back.
No, that was not a single board computers. Those are real computers. The Radshaw Zero is
Well, that's even worse.
really small, and I can just put it, anywhere really. And so I have one more that I'm not doing anything with, and I wanted to try find a project for it. I think that's a good one. So that is the news from Lake Wobegon.
Did you ever listen to that?
What, the Garrison Keillor
Yeah.
radio show? Yeah, sure.
That was when I was younger. I actually liked them.
Well,
It's dry as all hell.
gentlemen, I kind of need to fold my tent. I'm just falling over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Talk to you next time, Nut.
We'll catch
Good.
you next show.
Yep.
Good night.
Talk to you later.
Yeah, good night.
Have a good night, man.
Much love from Thailand.
Other than that,
Hey,
um,
don't rub it in. Well, actually, you should, especially with a pretty girl like that.
Is there anything else?
I saw a news article.
what'd
I
you
saw a
find?
news article and I can't find it again. There's some new streaming service coming out, a device that will stream all streaming services for one price,
Really?
like $50 a month.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I know I'm getting Hulu for free.
legally.
What, through Disney Plus?
No, I'm getting Hulu for free through T-Mobile at the end of this month for a year.
Hmm.
And then
AT&T
for
does that with
$8.99.
Max.
I just set up a Amazon Prime trial. I wanted a few things delivered for Christmas, so it said you get a free Prime trial and you get the free delivery. So okay, so then I got I'm going to see it, but I got an email the other day about Amazon Prime. The Amazon Video in Canada. I don't know what it's going to be like in the US, but they're starting to put ads into the Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah.
And if you don't want the ads, it's an extra, I think, $3 or something.
Yeah, I saw that in the news too. So do they currently have ads in it now, or are they going to? They're going to.
I believe they're going to.
Yeah.
Well, even the Hulu that I'm getting is going to be the $8 a month version, I think they said, and it will have ads. And then, like, I still get my Netflix through T-Mobile, and so it's discounted, but now the amount is going to be $8.50, but that should remain the non-ad version.
They adding ads to Netflix? I haven't heard that one yet.
Netflix has different tiers, and their lower tiers now have ads.
Hmm.
For what, though?
I don't know. I don't have that tier.
Well, probably like what the ads in Tubi, that kind of stuff.
Well, Tubi ads are just regular ads.
Yeah, it'd
Tubi's
probably be
free
like that.
anyways, so that's. I mean, if that's what it comes to, I mean, I'm gonna do most of my watching on Tubi at that point. But
Well, the whole thing. Look, I still get it discounted because I get it through T-Mobile, and I'm still not having the ads. But Netflix is actually saying that their ad-supported tiers, which are lower cost to subscribers, is more popular, and they actually make more money with it than the higher level tiers that don't have ads.
I'll tell you what annoys me no end is when you go on a flight, you might be on whatever flight, transatlantic flight or anything, and you go and watch a video or a film and it starts putting ads on and you're sat there in the seat and you've paid hundreds of dollars for the seat and they put how much do you think the airlines get for the advert, the ad on the movie on a plane?
right, you're just kind of stuck.
Being cheap.
I'd be happy to pay the extra $2 and not get an ad on. Last thing you want to do is watch an ad while you're on a plane trying to watch a movie.
Right.
So I usually just download everything to my tablet beforehand and Watch whatever's on my tablet. Yeah. How long is the flight to Thailand? Morton C.
What?
How long is the flight to Thailand?
With layovers, I think it was 37 hours. So 24 hours or more in the air.
Ouch.
Which route did it? Where did they fly over? Where did they fly over?
So I went from
the Earth.
I went from Columbus to Miami to Qatar, Doha Airport in Qatar, and then Thailand. And last year, coming back, I went from Thailand to Narita in Japan, and then Dallas, and then Columbus.
See, when I went, we went from Houston to Taiwan and Taiwan to Thailand to Bangkok, and then the same way on the way back. And it was only 19
Taiwan's
hours.
a big stopover point anymore.
Oh, well, I guess you're right. It's been a while.
How many hours?
19 hours in the air.
Okay, that's a little less mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 23 hours might have been the shortest one I could find that had almost no layover time from Columbus, Ohio. But a lot of the prices are better if you start from an international airport.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I flew to LA, if I flew to LA first and then had a ticket from LA to Thailand, it would have been almost half the price.
Right.
Oh, wow.
But how much would I have spent spending the night in Thailand and with two separate tickets if there was any problem, being bumped or something like that, I'd be screwed.
Oh, for sure.
So what did you download to watch for your flight?
Gosh, I don't remember. I downloaded stuff. Well, I have the two phones and the Fire tablet because I didn't get the Starlab tablet before I left. But I had stuff downloaded on Plex and Netflix on, I think, all three devices, and then just had stuff on an SD card also. A lot of it was left over on the Fire, Kindle Fire was from last year's trip. I still had like 100 movies, TV shows, audiobooks. I had lots of audiobooks.
There you go.
I listened to like 3 or 4 audiobooks. One of them was, I think 2 of them were part of the Alien universe.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't really see much else in the Lemmy. Anything else you guys want to?
What about your topic discussion there?
Oh, that's take too long. It's already.
You think that's going to take long?
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's going to take that long.
You don't think you want to try it? Okay. I'll put a discussion topic in the Lemmy. Called separating the contribution from the contributor. Should a contributor's personal life / antics / views condemn their contribution? I put some examples such as RMS and the Free Software Foundation, Emacs, GCC, Hans Reiser and Reiser FS, Clem and Linux Mint. There's some controversy there with some of our fellow podcasting brothers. The ones that hate Joe. But anyway, do any of you think that what I guess
that hates me?
It's
Who
the
hates
art.
Me?
It's the art and not hates you, but is always talking crap about Clem and Linux Mint.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because of his views.
And has also talked about Mintcast because of it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You're part of Mintcast.
We talking about Door?
Yes.
Yeah.
When has he talked about Mintcast?
It was a couple of years ago.
All right. I know he was talking about Mint, but I didn't know he was ever.
He also, in
Mintcast.
conjunction with that, talked about Mintcast and how we were, supporting Clem, and yeah. So it didn't bother me then, and it doesn't bother me now.
Right.
So I guess the question is kind of like the art and the artist question, which has always been raised. Question for the ages. Can you separate the art from the artist?
You should.
So I think you should too. Some people do not share that view.
But you have to, because it's kind of like. So I'm also, I like sports. You know what? But most professional athletes are fucking assholes. No matter what they try and promote themselves. Oh, I do all these charities. Yeah. Well, guess what? Most of them are actually still fucking assholes. But I still enjoy the sport. Same thing with most musicians. Most of them are fucking assholes. Why? Because they have they're given a shit ton of money, and they have people throwing themselves at their feet going, "We love you so much." Mm-hmm. Guess what? That starts going to your ego, and you start to become a fucking asshole.
Now, do you think
it happens?
Somebody like, well, now say this person is a member of a foundation that they created, but the foundation doesn't agree with their views anymore.
Well, then the foundation needs to figure it out. That's the foundation's. That's to do with the foundation. I mean, like you're talking about what's the name?
RMS and the FSF.
Yeah, the FSF needs to go their own way and figure something out from RMS. I mean, that's if they're not agreeing with RMS, then RMS does not need to be their spokesperson anymore, and they need to find a way to separate themselves from RMS. Form their own little thing that's basically the same idea, or RMS need to figure out a way to get rid of RMS. You got to go either way. It's whoever has the initial rights to that group. If you don't agree with them, then you need to move him away, or you need to move away from him.
Now, what about using a product that was created by someone that you don't agree with?
Again, I go back to my previous statement that the product isn't the person.
What if it financially supports that person?
Actors, musicians, athletes are all fucking assholes, and either you distance yourself from all of them because they are what they are, or you just enjoy them for what they've done and not for them as people.
Now, what if it financially supports that person?
Again, it's the same thing. It's the same role. It doesn't bother you? You have to figure that out. Most of these people are horrible people, but more than likely they are horrible people, and you have to either accept the fact that they are horrible people or just not listen to their stuff.
Now, I that's where I draw the line, or try to draw the line. If whatever I'm using, coding with, consuming, if the creator or there's a benefactor connected with that gains financially by me using it or buying it, and that benefactor is like a total piece of shit, I would like to think that I would say no, I don't want to use this
Do you
product.
like Bezos?
No, I don't like Bezos. And I tried to
use Amazon?
I do, but not as much as I used to. I tried to find the manufacturer website or a second-hand seller or something like that. And because of that exact thing. Now, another thing I've stepped away from is AliExpress, and I try not to use as many like weird Chinese electronics as I used to as well. And that's not necessarily the art and artist question, but that was from an article I read about the U.S. import laws. I don't know if y'all have seen that. Let's see, I'll post a link to it. And I was surprised how many products or it's a list of goods produced by child labor or forced labor. And a lot of this is things that are produced by the Uyghur population in China, and that was at Xinjiang province, that are forced into quote-unquote re-education camps, but are actually like picking cotton and things like that. So some of the products, list of goods, textiles, and this is hard to get away from because you don't know you know, where all these companies source their material from and stuff like that. It says the majority of textiles make use of adult ethnic minority groups in China using forced or exploitative labor. Photovoltaic ingots, which are used to make solar products, thread and yarn. What else is on here? Toys, fish, tomato products, bricks, solar cells, gloves, polysilicon, and electronics. I mean, how can you guarantee that what you're buying is not from the little baby Uyghur hands that are on the other side of the planet being whip cracked into making your stuff? You know, I think it's really hard. And so I've been thinking about that.
I think most things that you buy these days, like cheap T-shirts, whatever, anything from cheap T-shirts to cheap electronics, there's child labor in all of it, I guess.
Probably so. And even I was thinking about this too, because this article made the point that even if you say you buy a shirt that's made in the USA or made in a different country, made in Canada or whatever, there's no guarantee that the material that was used to make that shirt didn't come from somewhere else, and they don't have to list, you know, where they sourced the actual cotton and stuff like that. So it starts to break down into these components that are almost impossible to trace, you know, where they come from.
Well, you see the price of T-shirts and clothes and stuff like that in Walmart. I don't think there's any other way of making it.
No, not at those prices. They have a name for that now. They call it fast fashion, which is just like cheap.
Well, when I was making T-shirts, I could get, well, before there was a cotton. They outsourced. They sent all the cotton production to China, and then there was a mold and a beetle that attacked all the GMO cotton, and prices skyrocketed right in the middle of me making T-shirts. But prior to that, I could buy, as long as I bought enough shirts, I could get a T-shirt for under $1, and I could print one for under $1. So if I sold them for $5, I was making money. Now I don't think I could buy everything for $5 to make a shirt. But depending on the location, I mean, over here in Thailand, they make shirts, and I don't know how much of the cotton. I assume all the cotton is coming from China now, but they're just regular stores with shirts in them that are, you know, $1 or $2.
It says about 20% of the entire world's cotton comes from China. 84% of that comes from the Xinjiang province where the Uyghurs are at.
So how
I would have thought it'd be more.
I would have too. What's that?
How would you determine where this stuff is coming from and who not to?
Well, see, we were just talking about that when you left the room to ignore us.
I know, I'm listening. I still got the headphones on. I'm not talking.
I think,
but I was.
I think once you go back to the source materials, it's next to impossible.
Yeah,
there's some companies that there's ratings you can get for companies. One of the places I bought T-shirts from was Taltech. They make like the American Apparel style shirts. Mm-hmm. Blank shirts, but you can get them for, you know, less than $2 a piece for the shirts, and they follow this industry standard that rates the entire company for their ethical manufacturing. But I don't know how deep that goes, and if it goes all the way to the source of the cotton.
And how much can you trust that too? You know, it's like, I don't know.
You can't.
Well, so it's funded by the industry, but it's an independent standard. I think as much as you can trust a regulatory agency. The one for
money talks, shitlogs.
Right, but the one for clothing manufacturing really looked like the organization that was set up in an honest and less political way. But then again, who can you ever trust?
I
when
work in
money's
fruits and
involved.
vegetables. I work in fruits and vegetables, and most of the time, they talk about organics, but I know people who sit there and they try to figure out who certified it or as organic because they don't trust some of the certification companies because
Yeah, and and they pushed, I don't know, about 15 years ago. They lobbyists pushed to have certain things rated as organic, which from the common consumer who's focused on organic is definitely not organic.
Right. Yeah, it's just, I think one example, iPhones, many of the components in iPhones are made in China, and they're assembled there as well. Or are they assembled at Foxconn in Taiwan? I think a lot of it comes from China. But anyway, Samsung's phones are designed in South Korea and then built in Vietnam. So and their parts are supposedly from there too. But who's to say that child labor in Vietnam is not just as bad as China? If you're not actually seeing your stuff get made or put together, you can't really make that call.
And from what I hear, Samsung is 20% of South Korea's GDP, and they're like untouchable, the entire family. They can do whatever they want.
To anybody, yeah.
And it's not just phones. It's they provide electricity, vehicle, like everything. They provide everything in the country.
That's crazy. But it's believable.
Yeah, so I don't think there's any way that you can really, nail down where something came from and be able to say, hey, unless there's like some big thing that just said, hey, this is actually coming from here, then you can go, then you can make your, rational decision. Do I want to still keep buying from these people or whatever? When it comes to individuals, like I said, I think a lot of them are, once they get a certain amount of money, I don't trust them anyways.
Well, I would say there's like a difference between being an asshole and then being somebody like truly evil, like a child molester or a rapist or something like that. I understand athletes are assholes, but I think it's a different thing than say you're into watching Harvey Weinstein movies or something, or buying his collection. So that's the thing. Like, if I can get away with consuming or watching something that it doesn't financially benefit a piece of shit, I think I will still consume it, but I won't feel like what I'm doing is the wrong thing,
My feeling is there's a certain level of money that people get, and once they hit that point, they start to feel invincible or whatever, and then there's no end to what they could possibly think that they can do or get away with.
What do you think?
So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of them that either
stuff?
did, or I don't necessarily trust any of them.
Well,
on
I don't
any
say
scale,
I trust
any
either.
level. So Harvey Weinstein used his place to seduce women.
More than seduce them.
Right. Seduce, rape.
Right.
So the high school football captain uses lots of alcohol to seduce and rape the head of the cheerleading. Is there a difference? And then he goes on and becomes gets millions of dollars being a football star.
Well,
and
I think
he probably does similar things to other people who, when before, he gets married at the time or whatever. Is there a difference?
I think yes, because and the difference is you're saying one scenario is plausible, but not that it actually happened. And I think the difference between that and somebody being convicted of rape, and I think yeah, these rich people could do that stuff, but do they do that stuff? We don't know, and I think it's okay to think that they don't, if you haven't seen, like, I'm not going to believe that, who.
I think it's naive to think that they don't.
Well, yeah, but I mean that they don't commit crimes.
I think money. My feeling is money corrupts, and that it's almost naive to think that they didn't.
So you thought Mr. Rogers was actually a pedophile or something?
I don't think Mr. Rogers had a crap load of money.
No, he had quite a bit.
I don't think he had a crap load of money.
So if he did, then you would think that he was a
His
monster.
show was on PBS.
Right. His show was on PBS, which was not a very well-funded show.
Now, what about Bernie Sanders?
He was, no, I have no idea about Bernie Sanders at all.
Well, yeah.
So I
He's
don't
just
know what
like
his,
an old
his
grandpa,
situation
right?
The guy has never had an actual job, so something there's funny.
Right?
I don't know. I guess I'm
don't
a
know what
lot
to tell
less
you.
cynical than you are about when it comes to this.
My feeling is money corrupts. Once you hit a certain level of money, there's always something fishy.
So even
Somebody's
if
doing something crooked somewhere.
So even if you know for sure, like somebody is a piece of shit, you'll just support them anyway, because
I'm
all
not
these other
necessarily
people are
supporting them. I just know that that's just the situation we're in. Like I won't purposely go, yay, I'm supporting this person, but it is what it is.
What does it is what it is mean? That you're still buying their
It
stuff?
means I'm still going to do what I'm going to do. If I'm going to enjoy the music, I'm still going to watch the athletes go out there and play their sports ball. I'm still going to watch the movies because the movies are because it's entertaining. I can't, because of the fact of the amount of money that's involved with that situation and the fact of what money does. It is what it is.
But you would pay to do these activities, right? Or would you pirate them?
Depending on what my situation is at that moment.
It's not affected
if it's
by who
available
makes
to
it?
pirate, because friggin' Plex wants me to watch something on mobile, wants me to pay again. So I can't watch anything off of Plex through there.
Now, would you buy like a Ray Lewis jersey if you were a Baltimore fan back then?
If I was, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't a Baltimore fan back then, so the guy who murdered somebody at a party.
Yeah. You would just buy their jersey and wear it around? No big deal? Because everybody's an asshole?
Was he proven guilty?
Yes.
Was he proven guilty?
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't proven guilty. He didn't see any jail. Ray Lewis never saw any jail time.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm 90% sure that Ray Lewis never saw any jail time.
I thought he did.
No.
Yeah, I'm wrong. Well, it says he pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice in connection with the stabbing deaths of 2 men in 2000.
Yeah.
It didn't
He
say
didn't see any
anything
jail
about-
time. He probably just paid some people off. Money
Anyways,
talks, shit walks.
so it would have been cool to wear his jersey then, because he didn't go to jail. We're going to have to agree to disagree on that. I think there's a line that you should draw, but I know not everybody thinks the way I do, so.
I believe that
Honky
there
does
should be a
not.
line that you should draw, but if you start drawing that line, you're not going to be able to do anything.
Oh, I don't know about that. If the cases, I would say on more extreme cases, like, where people were convicted of rape or murder, or, and you know they're guilty.
Are you not going to watch anything that Harvey Weinstein ever made?
No, that's not
The
my
Weinsteins ever
point.
made?
Of course I'd watch it. I just wouldn't buy it. That's the whole point. I would not want to financially support them. That's the point I'm making.
If I can get away with not buying something, I'm going to do that. But, sometimes it is what it is. And usually I might watch it on streaming. I'm not sure how much money they get from that.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about streaming.
I don't know what the percentage of profit people get from streaming stuff.
Yeah.
That's changing. It used to be not much, but now it's changing. They're redoing contracts. That was part of what the whole strike was about.
Yeah.
Well, the actor strike too.
Yeah.
It is, people weren't making money on streaming, and everybody's watching things on streaming. So
right. Because everything is on streaming now.
It's true.
It used to be the biggest things you could do was go to the movie. It was movie theaters first, and then it was rentals, and then from rentals it went to streaming or TV or whatever. It'd be like HBO and whatever. After rentals would be the big pay subscription channels: HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, stuff like that. And then from there,
But
it would be...
that was like half of Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit.
Right, exactly. But yes, my stance has always been that most people, after they reach a certain amount, after their income gets to a certain point, there's a good chance that they are corrupt in one way or another. And if you decide to not get stuff from people who are corrupt, then there's a good chance you're not going to be able to do anything.
Now, say you won the lottery, $100 million. Would you be corrupt?
$100 million, I'm just going to basically buy off my house.
Oh, so you're different from everybody else in the world.
If
$100 million is not what I'm talking about.
If he's not broke in 6 years, then yeah, he's probably doing something corrupt.
If I'm not broke, yes, exactly.
Because 90% are the largest percentage of your high dollar amount winners of the lotto are broke in like 5 years.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But unless you're doing some fancy tax stuff and got your money invested in the same way all these other rich folk do.
Right. It's, again, in my humble opinion, it is that once people hit a certain amount, they have a certain amount of money, they feel that they can get away with just about anything, and they do. And they try to, or they have.
Now, what about Bill Cosby? He would have never done anything bad.
Bill Cosby, the guy,
he was like everybody's dad, right?
Yeah.
There was never any.
You
would never think
nobody.
Look,
it
main
came
actor
as a
of the
real
Cosby
surprise when that hit. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, it couldn't have been true at all, right? Because he was America's dad on the Cosby Show, you know.
He went to jail, it got proven.
Well, I don't see.
Martha Stewart. Insider
But
trading.
he had like one show after another where he was basically the same character over and over again.
Well, he also liked to promote himself personally as a high moral person.
Right.
Like you couldn't do an interview with him without like reading his one of his books, his family or something like about.
Well,
family
he
or
loved
something
to
like
talk
that.
bad about black people, too, which is weird.
Did he?
Yeah, he would have these speaking engagements, or he would do like the college graduation ceremonies, and well, you should look him up on YouTube. I'm not going to repeat what he says, but anyway,
he made Fat Albert.
He did make Fat Albert. So, what do you guys think Linux is going to do, or say what the main distros are going to do with the new PC keyboards that are coming out that will have a Windows Copilot key?
Probably nothing at first, and then turn it into a hotkey is what I would do.
Microsoft is planning for all OEM manufacturers, this includes laptop makers, desktop makers, to add a Windows Copilot key.
I thought you were going to talk about something interesting, like, what do you think the state of Wayland is going to be by the end of the year?
I thought you said something interesting.
Oh, it is interesting at this point. Think of all the distros that are making the switch.
Oh, yeah.
So, has anybody used Wayland?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I liked it.
I'm using it.
Has it made a difference? Has you noticed a difference at all?
The doors, Wayland.
Have you noticed a difference at all?
No, it's fine.
It just shows up on the screen and works, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you tried any remote applications?
Yeah. You mean
remoting
like SSH?
Into your Wayland session? No. Graphically remoting into your...
Oh, no. I have Debian on this laptop, and that one's running Fedora, so that has Wayland, but I've never had a reason to SSH into my laptop. Or always SSH out. Or
I'm not worried about
SCP
SSH
stuff in.
But SSH is
Like
going to
RDP.
work fine. I'm talking graphical.
Right.
Desktop sharing, anything like that.
No, I don't do that.
Like you're saying that they think there's going to be an issue between going from X11 to Wayland and a
Just
graphical
the issues
sharing.
that there's
I mean,
always
like using
been.
VNC
Wayland,
or something?
Yeah, VNC or something.
What about Wayland to Wayland on VNC?
As far as I know, that still doesn't work. If they got it working, that would be great. But at last I knew, the screen sharing of any type, desktop sharing of any type, wasn't working on Wayland. It doesn't mean it's not now, but that was one of the major issues that I've always had with switching to Wayland.
Is it something to do with security?
The reason they're switching to Wayland is due to security, because X11 is so old and has so much spaghetti code in it.
No, isn't that where a lot of the remote applications won't work because it can't?
Maybe.
It's containerized so much.
I'm not sure.
It says for Wayland, all screen sharing is done through Pipewire. I wonder if that's why there's an issue going from X11 to Wayland.
I'll have to check and see if remote desktop stuff is working with Wayland yet. Now, I know, like, Mint is working on X Wayland so that they can eventually switch to Wayland and still allow for compatibility with X applications. But they're not planning on switching for another 2 years. So what was your crappy topic again?
That Microsoft is
oh yeah, a key on a keyboard.
All keyboards will now have a Copilot key.
What's a Copilot key?
That's Microsoft's AI.
Oh.
It will be required in all new PC keyboards.
So you would hit the key and then what?
It's the first new key since 1994.
Again, you would hit Copilot would come up and then...
Yeah, Copilot Assistant, AI Assistant would come up.
They sucked at Cortana. Why do they think that Copilot's going to be any better?
I guess because they didn't create it. It's OpenAI's ChatGPT. Don't they have like a 49% market share in OpenAI, I think?
I don't know.
I think so.
I've played very little with ChatGPT. I've used like 3 different models and with mixed results. ChatGPT does not, I don't find as interesting as, what's it called again?
Stable Diffusion.
Stable Diffusion is far superior, just for entertainment value.
Well, Dolly is ChatGPT. It's their image platform, Dolly 3. That's what I was posting those pictures. So it said going forward, all Windows 11 keyboards will require the Windows Copilot key. So I wonder how this is going to be used by the big distros like Fedora and Ubuntu and people like that. What they're going to use the Copilot key for, or if it'll just be
a dead key.
It could be that you can just assign as a meta key or something.
Yeah, at first it'd probably be a dead key. I'm sure someone will find a use for it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. All right.
Getting late for you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Gotta go get your 6 hours of sleep?
6.
Crazy talk. Oh yeah, you gotta go to work at like 4.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get up at probably about 5. So
I get about
4
10.
hours of sleep.
9 or 10, something like that.
It's Saturday. I'll get up when I feel like it.
So I
When
guess
are the
it's
kids
after
waking up?
midnight for some of you guys, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
12:47.
honky. It's
It's
almost
almost midnight for me.
What time is it for you, fat boy?
Yeah, it's coming up for 11 p.m.
Okay. What about you, Mordency?
It's almost 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
All right.
All right. Do you want to shut her down?
Sure.
All right.
Go ahead. I'll just kind of layer it in the background.
Don't just do that, and then I'll do my thing at the end.
No, it's fine. We don't have to play
Do
it. No, I'm not going to.
Do it.
I'll add it in post.
You'll have it post. Oh my. All right. Where are we? All right. All right. Our recording. Next recording date will be January. Nope, that's not January 5th. That's today. It will be January. What is the next recording date? 19th. 19th, 2024. Our music is Downright, provided by Klaatu and Broam. Finally, we'd like to give a special thanks to Delwin, Fatherfinch, Fweeb, Dave Morris, and Tony Beemus for all their help and support over the years. I've been your host this evening, Honky Magoo. With us tonight has been Fat Boy.
Yeah, good night to everyone.
Joe.
Good night.
Lovecraft.
Good night, everybody.
Lugbot.
You don't want to hear another joke from Lugbot?
Probably not.
No. Okay. Say goodnight, Lugbot.
Good night.
Minnix.
That's me. Y'all have a great weekend.
And Mordency.
Good night, everyone.
All right. Good night, everybody.